The best games of all time. That is what we're going to be talking about today. And we are going to be talking about everything from Skyrim to Minecraft to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and Doom. So, without further talking about that, we will get into the list. On number 10th, we've got Battlefield 6. So, understand this. I was not around to see the prime of Battlefield, and it was probably better than Battlefield 6 at the time because of the fan base and because of the community and because pure vibes, like Xbox game lobbies. But understand this, Battlefield 6 is still a really good Battlefield game. Like, it's like just incredibly cinematic, and overall it has for once beaten Call of Duty in in the sales. So it's kind of a like phenomena. It's kind of a like big win for FPS, the FPS genre, because like Call of Duty, as we all know, they are basically just scamming us with releasing the same game with a few tweaks year after year. Like, it is not the same game, but they definitely don't put time into the quality of the games. And they expect us to buy it year after year, and they cannot see the pattern. They can't see the pattern. They have to realize sometime that if they are going to continue this series, this franchise, they will need to slow down the production and focus on quality. But anyway, Battlefield 6, yeah, it is an incredibly cinematic masterpiece. Of course, there are a lot of like discussion around the campaign mode, which honestly, it is not as bad as many people say, but it's definitely a bit forgettable. I think they are completely right about that. Otherwise, the gameplay of the campaign is like very satisfying and still cinematic. So it's not as bad as some people say it is, but it's still not great. Okay, if they've just gotten a few more months, I think they could have done a lot, and I think they could have cooked up a lot more than they have. And overall, I think what they needed with the campaign was just like a little more time. But the multiplayer, okay, it's a masterpiece. You can't deny that, okay? Maybe you're not a fan of the new Battlefield, but the multiplayer, it's still incredibly cinematic. It's still fun to play. You've got like my favorite game modes are I think they were called Conquest and what was it? I think Conquest and Breakthrough. Yeah, so basically on Breakthrough, you're breaking through these points, like you're going from A, and to get to B, you have first to break through the defense of point A, and so forward, right? While in Conquest, you've got all these points, and the first team to either deplete the enemy team or to take control of all the points, they won. So it's a pretty simple but still pretty fun game mode. And next up on number 9th, we've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. So understand this. The only reason that Kingdom Come Deliverance is so low on the list that it is first of all, I have a lot of other great games on here, and number two, I to be honest, I've not gotten too far into the story, but what I've played to now, it seems amazing. Okay, it's unlike anything else. Now, the combat is still very annoying, but as I've understood it, basically you realize that this combat in this game is just a piece of trash. It's basically a sign of passing into the older ranks in this game. So you know, the you don't have like the classical combat mechanics. It's not just click and parry and stuff like that. You have to physically hit what angle you want to hit them from. Like if I am going to hit like a slash that way, I have to drag the mouse down that way and then click. So and at the same time you have to like step aside to dodge hits and step to the other side to dodge hits from that way, and it's overall a pretty confusing and clunky combat system, but this story is a masterpiece. Okay, uh, it's a very fun game, it's a very capturing game. I don't know, but I think it was nominated to Game of the Year, which is well deserved. Of course, it didn't win because it still have a few things that they need to polish. And when I'm thinking of it, maybe I will make a video of me playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 after I'm done with the first one. So we'll see how good this video is perceived, and then maybe we will play it on stream or make a separate video of it or something. But my point, I really want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 after I've done with the first one, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 was a masterpiece, okay? It is good, but compared to some of these other games that I have here, it's not like in the top 5, okay? Maybe if I've played it a little bit more, it would have gone up there, but for now, we're going to put it at like number 9, okay? So the next game on the list is a little bit controversial. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So Assassin's Creed Black Flag is essentially... Okay, so at the time it released, it was very controversial because, of course, people realized that it was actually a great pirate game, but people also said that it was borderline not an Assassin's Creed game, which I kind of agree with, but when it's compared to some of the new games, like, for example, Odyssey, no, it's not that bad, okay? So Assassin's Creed Black Flag is like one of the best pirate simulators out there, and I think a remake of this game not only would it do Ubisoft a lot of good and make them some serious bank, but I also think that a remake would do the game some justice, okay? Because a lot of the issues with Black Flag is like, there are not too many bugs, but I've like noticed a lot, some bugs, like when you hit enemies, they are just like slanged into oblivion and flying away from you. And also the graphics would have been a lot greater if they remade it into some kind of newer engine, like for example Unreal Engine 5. And I think overall a remake would have done it a lot of justice. But still, the combat in this game makes you feel so incredibly badass. It makes... Okay, so it's not a difficult game, okay? Mainly you just need to hit E to counter strikes, and then press spam the left click button to kind of just kill them off. But it makes you feel incredible, okay? It is basically just a big power complex, like you will also see with some of the other games I have on here. But it's a really great game, okay? If you've not played it, you're probably a bit younger, but I would also, for you who are a bit younger, I would still recommend playing it, okay? Because it's overall a very great game, okay? And on number 8, no, sorry, on number 7, we've got Doom 2016. So this is what I meant when I said that some of these games I have on here is basically just a big power complex, okay? Because Doom 2016, something I don't understand is how the fuck didn't Doom 2016 beat Overwatch at the Game Awards. Doom 2016 is not only the best reboot of a series ever, it is a phenomenon that is carrying. It's probably the only thing that is carrying Bethesda right now. And the sad thing is that Bethesda, they have made a lot of good games in the past, but like the newer games that you see, they aren't even made by Bethesda. If you say that, Bethesda made a lot of new good games. No, the Oblivion May remake was not even done by Bethesda. It was made by a separate studio, and the Doom games was not made by Bethesda. It was published by Bethesda, but it was made by ID Studios. But overall, Doom has a fantastic fast-paced combat, and you don't understand how much I love the lore of Doom, okay? Doom overall is a very great series, and it makes you feel really powerful, like the slogan of the Doom franchise, or Doom 2016 in particular, is "rip and tear until it's done," which I think captures the philosophy of the game really well. So for you who have not played Doom, you're basically just playing as this guy who was placed on Mars, a space base on Mars, because this was like your punishment, because you punched your captain in the face, or I think it was your officer in the face, because you refused to just gun down a bunch of civilians, okay? And as a punishment for that, you got sent to a space base on Mars. But there are all of these bitchy scientists out there who basically just decided that they were going to fool around with teleportation and portal technology, and they accidentally opened a portal to hell, which means that you are on Mars when the Hell Gate, the original gate to hell, is like open, and all these demons from hell just come bursting out from the portal, and I think it is like 40 or 60% of the humanity that was just killed off by demons. But you are playing as this like basically just really badass space marine who was placed on Mars, and you just single-handedly, fueled by rage, go around and killing all these demons, and eventually you manage to push them back into hell, and they close the portal with you inside it, and you think you are doomed, like to the fate of the Doomslayer. Like the guy from Doom was originally just to be trapped in hell fighting demons until you die, but while he was in hell, he got discovered by an ancient species, like a godlike species, who was called the Makers, and they basically trained him in weaponry, and they introduced him to a kind of modification machine called the what was it again? I can't remember the name of the machine, but the Divinity Machine, okay? It is called the Divinity Machine. And you're basically introduced to this machine, and because of that, you basically just become the greatest, best warrior of the universe. Like, even literal gods can't stand up to your power. There is even I don't know if it is canon, but there is a fan theory that the god of this universe chose to be reborn as the Doomslayer, because he wanted to be reborn as the mightiest like thing in the universe, which is the Doomslayer. And basically you just go, your fate is just now to go around in all eternity to just slay and hold back demons so it can't hurt the rest of humanity. Okay? And this is like where the Doom 2016 story starts, because they managed to like kind of lock you down in a sarcophag, which and you just wake up there strapped to the sarcophag, and you just rip your chains off and just start killing everything. Okay. Eventually, I think you managed to shut down this Hellgate, which was opened by a woman, which I don't remember the name of. But basically, she was just manipulated by all these demons, right? Manipulated by the forces of hell to open a new portal. And you managed to fight all the demons, and I don't remember what happens after that, actually. But we will 100% make a separate Doom lore video, okay? If the interest is high for that, I will 100% do that. So, next on the list, we've got on number 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, another controversial Assassin's Creed game. So, understand this, okay? Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it is a great game, okay? I think most people can't really come from with any concrete argument that this is not a great game. It just shouldn't have been a part of the Assassin's Creed franchise, okay? It should definitely be placed in the same universe, because I think that really works, but it should definitely not have been an Assassin's Creed game. So basically, the lore is that you are this badass Viking warrior called Eivor, which turns out to be the reincarnation of Odin. And your friend, who is called Sigurd, is basically just an reincarnation of... I don't remember. I think he was a reincarnation of... Let me think. Of Heimdall? Yeah, I think so. Or no, he was a reincarnation of Thor. And basically you and your friend go over to England from Norway, because your Norwegian father... your friend's Norwegian father, who was a Jarl, just gave over his land to this new Viking king called Harald Hårfagre. And Harald Hårfagre was going around, and he was just basically fighting off every king that refused to give up his land, to kind of assemble all of Norway into one kingdom. And you and your friend didn't like that his father just gave away their land, so you two go over to England with a bunch of other people who didn't like this too, and you just settle down and start your own colony. And throughout the game, you basically just go back to Norway, because you discover that there is like this huge facility or something. I can't remember what it was. It was something with a kind of artifact that you had to go back for. But the main part of the game that I find the most amusing is basically just go around the map, assembling, getting contacts and getting kind of friends that can help you and defend you if and your new colony if that is needed. And you basically just go around and kill stuff and assemble a lot of crafting gear, so you can upgrade your weapons, and you also upgrade your skill tree. So after a certain amount of time, you get this ability. For example, if you can counter arrows with just catching them and putting them back in your bow, shooting them back and insta-killing what was shooting at you. And you're basically just a really big badass. Number 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 5. Okay, I think that is fair. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a really big game, a really great game. I don't really think I will even need to kind of discuss what it is about, because I think every single person in this world that is, especially who are watching this channel, will know what GTA 5 is about, okay? I think it is a really like okay take to place it at number 5. It is essentially just a massive open world with like insane detail, and you basically just can play as these crazy bank robbers who go around and just rob banks and killing civilians and stuff. For the for the unculturated, that may seem very harsh and grim, but it is actually really fun when they get to the hang of it. So you basically become a millionaire afterwards, and you get all these fancy cars and all this fancy military stuff, and you can buy tanks, you can buy airplanes. So GTA 5 is basically just the ultimate power fantasy slash the ultimate like business trip adventure game. Slash if you are a sadist and want to kill civilians, of course. So on number 4, we've got Skyrim. Skyrim is a very great, now pretty old open world fantasy game. I think we've all heard about it. People who say that Skyrim is overrated and that it may actually be a bit overrated, but people who say that the only reason that Skyrim did as well as it did because of the modding community, and that this wouldn't have been a good game without the modding. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, I think you've got some right about some things, because I don't think the living time of the game would have been so great and so long if it hadn't been for the modding community. Okay, understand this: Skyrim is still being played to this day, and is still considered one of the best games to this day. But I don't think it would have been as much played today if it hadn't been for the modding community. So basically, the lore of Skyrim, or the kind of gameplay of Skyrim, is that you're basically just have been captured trying to escape Skyrim, this land called Skyrim, and you are being taken to a place to be executed by the Empire. And then, all out of the sudden, right before they just pick your head off, this huge dragon just come flying towards you and just start firing down fireballs and stuff on every single person around you, and you manage to escape. And after some time, when you take part in a mission where you kill a dragon, it turns out that you are something that is called a Dragonborn, which basically is just means that you can absorb the energy of killed dragons, and you can learn to speak the language of dragons. So basically, the language of dragons, also called don't remember what this was called actually. Just forget it. When you can speak the language of dragons, you can basically cast every single spell imaginable, and these spells can do everything from just shouting out fire to shouting out this like huge energy burst, which just takes down every single enemy in front of you and make them go flying. Okay, they just turn into a private jet and just fly away. And as you go through the game, you get more and more powerful until you kill this dragon, which you saw at the start of the game, and you're basically just canonically a god level being at that point. Number 3. Zelda Breath of the Wild, also known as The Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Understand this: the only thing that is bad about Breath of the Wild is the fact that it is on Nintendo, okay? And that it is made by Nintendo. If it had been available on Steam and had been developed by some other company, then it would generally be like maybe one of the greatest games of all time, because like the experience while playing the game would have been just so much better. Uh, but unfortunately, it is only available at the two most trash, most uncomfortable consoles of all time, also known as Nintendo Switch 2 and 1. And unfortunately, it is not available on any other platform like at all. It is a Nintendo exclusive, but it is overall a very goated game and a very good game. It is made with passion. Like, you can see that they have put a lot of time and dedication into this game. And this game was probably the thing that made me a gamer, like, except Minecraft. It was the game which made me a gamer, because I remember I was friends with this with this girl in in like first school, I think. I don't remember what it is called in English, but like this school you go to after kindergarten. I was friends with a girl from that school when I was like, I think I was like 9, and her father and her was like these two really huge fans of the Legends of Zelda, and they had like all of the consoles, all of the Nintendo consoles, and all of the Zelda games, and they just had gotten the new Zelda game, right? And I got to try it, and I fell in love, and I actually managed to convince my mother and father to buy a Nintendo Switch for so we could play The Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And it was not disappointing like at all. I think I had like altogether probably near 1,000 hours in The Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So the Breath of the Wild has a sequel called uh, what was it? Tears of the Kingdom. I have personally not played it yet. I have the game, but I have so much other things to play. And me personally, even though I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom a lot, it just gives off different vibes than Breath of the Wild. It is probably a very great game, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. And I should probably sit down and play it sometime. But like Breath of the Wild, it just hits different. It may be that I'm biased because of this nostalgia factor, but it is a very great game. Okay, it gives off very like cozy, good vibes, but still it's like capturing plot with like very good, not very good combat, but like decent combat and a very good story, and like these bunches and bunches of side quests which you can do. And this side quest, by the way, is very great. It is very good and well designed. And yeah, by the way, The Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild was also it was also won Game of the Year at the Game Awards when it came out. So that is another fact for you. And the DLCs for Breath of the Wild, you basically just buy some DLCs for like, I think like $30, around $30, and you basically just double the amount of playtime in the game, and it is like not really either bad. It is not bad either. Like, the DLCs is very respectable and very fun to play through, and they are well made, as well made, I would say, as the main game. And if you're playing it, I would 100% recommend that you buy like the DLCs and expansions. But overall, Breath of the Wild is a very great game. Okay, the only bad thing about it is that it is on Nintendo, so kind of little bit of rant there. But now I think we will go over to number 2, which is called Minecraft. You've probably never heard of it. It is a very like niche game, of course. So I don't think you've heard of Minecraft, but it is a very... Just wait a little bit. Oh. Yeah, as you can see, I am a little bit of a Assassin's Creed fan. That doesn't mean I like the new games, though. That doesn't mean I like the business practices of Ubisoft. Okay? But Minecraft, of course, as you know, as it is probably with every single person that is watching this, Minecraft is basically pure nostalgia. It has, like, gives you so much freedom, and you can just use your imagination and build everything you can imagine. And it is one of the most creative games of all time, one of the best sandbox games of all time. It is also an infinite, it also have like an infinite replayability factor, so you can basically just play it like and play through the game, which is, by the way, the point of Minecraft isn't even playing through the game. You get a lot more fun if you basically just wait as long as you can before you finish the game. But the point of Minecraft isn't even finishing the game. You can play through this game an infinite amount of time and have as much fun each time you play through it. And it is a lot of more fun if you play it with your friends and with others. And you also have this online factor, right, where people can make their own servers and make their own game modes, which makes it even more playable. So I probably have like at least 2,000 hours in Minecraft. It is a disgusting amount of time in this game, and that is not even including the time I've spent playing the game on like PlayStation 4. By the way, PlayStation 3 Minecraft, which I first played it on, it is just goated. You got all these pre-made maps, right? Where I at least like just went up to a random house and yeah, this is my house now. And when I was playing on someone else's PlayStation 3, I was like, hey, look at this. This is my house on my console, and it is here too. Um, so I thought that was really cool. It is a bit weird, but it had a huge cultural impact. It is basically just insane. Everyone has played it at some time and some point, and it is one of the most creative and pure freedom, no rules, no forced story games you find out there, and you make your own goals and you make your own like plot. And there are these huge servers, right, where you basically make your own story through with other players. And yeah, now I'm just yapping. Actually, I think we will just go over to number one, which is of course The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Now understand this: The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the single best game that I've ever played, okay? Along with Elden Ring, it is the only game where the DLC have been nominated for Game of the Year. Yeah, the DLC was nominated to Game of the Year. Which is just insane, of course. The Witcher 3, or The Witcher in general, like, imagine you are a young child living at a farm, and your parents are just these poor peasants, right? And you basically is this like warrior monk who just comes to your farm. He's carrying two swords on his back and has this like cool leather armor with this cool chain with this wolf head around, not literal wolf head, but like an iron wolf head around his neck, okay? And this warrior monk actually just says to your mom and your dad, hey, if you're struggling, I can take your kid, and I can just take him with me, and I can train him. and basically you're being taken to this huge fort called Kaer Morhen, and Kaer Morhen is this place filled with a bunch of other warrior monks, which is a Witcher is basically just a warrior monk, okay, with weapons. They can cast spells. They are experts at using swords, and they also do a lot of meditation, okay? So I will just call them a warrior monk, because that is essentially what they are. So this castle called Kaer Morhen is just filled with a bunch of other witchers and and a bunch of other kids, and you're being put through a bunch of these trials, where like I think there is like 5 out of 10 children survive the trials, and when you're done with like 3 years of these dangerous trials, where you're basically just being put out in swamps and stuff, where most of your friends and likely you, to be honest, is being killed by a bunch of swamp monsters, and after you're done with all these trials, okay, you are being you are being introduced to another trial, a last trial. No, not even the last trial. It's for another trial called the Trial of the Grasses, which is basically some mages just strapped you to a table and just inject you with a bunch of different oils and a bunch of different chemicals, which makes you mutate. And oh, sorry, the screen went back on black there for a second. And these chemicals basically just make you mutate, and after a week of basically just 10 out of 10 pain, and you think you're going to die, you maybe become a full-fledged like witcher by no, just forget it. You're not even done at this point. You basically just gain all these sharpened instincts, right? And all these sharpened reflexes. And most people don't survive the Trial of the Grasses, okay? I think the survival rate is like 1 out of 7. No, like 7 out of 10 kids die during the Trial of the Grasses, okay? So after you've done with the Trial of the Grasses, you gain like superior eyesight, superior reflexes, and you basically just become this superhuman. By the way, you also get increased strength and increased agility and speed, and after this, your real Witcher training starts, right? You're training with all these masters, and depending on which school you're doing, you have like a final trial, where you are supposed to show your skills, and show if you're worthy of becoming a full-fledged witcher. And depending on which school, you're either being sent up in a nest to harvest a griffin egg, or I think the School of the Wolf, which like Geralt from the games comes from the School of the Wolf. I think there are a lot of different trials, final trials, which you may be introduced to. And after this trial, you are likely a full-fledged witcher. And but after this, one of the real witchers, the Witcher Masters, can decide that they don't think you're worthy. They still don't think you're worthy of becoming a full-fledged witcher. So they basically just say, "Hey, fight me," or fight me like if you can't defeat me, you're just dead anyway. And if you can defeat me, you're now a full-fledged witcher. So there are also a bunch of other different trials which some people may be induced to after the final trial. The only person to face these trials is Geralt of Rivia, which is the single best Witcher of, like, the strongest Witcher of all time, right? And these trials is also what's made his hair like gray or white. And after this, you're now a full-fledged Witcher, bound to live a life full of people who hate you and call you call you bad stuff when you walk past them and spit after you. And now you are a monster hunter who take a coin for killing monsters and just go around the map and taking contracts, killing monsters for coin. So that is your survival. It is actually pretty well paid when you look after it, but still not really a good not really worth the risk, because some of these monsters are still like superior to you, so you may just still face of dying. You may still just risk dying after you've finished all these trials and stuff, because some of these monsters are just too strong. But yeah, that's it. That is my list of the greatest games of all time. Make sure to subscribe if you like the video, and make sure to leave a comment and like, and then see you in the next one. Goodbye.